Hi, welcome back to another episode of Relatable. I am your host, Stephanie Michele. This is a weekly live stream show where we talk about exceptional human encounters. The reason that I do that is I believe we need a reminder that we can have these amazing encounters with each other. You know, that stuff that gives you goosebumps or charges you with energy and just really makes you feel like you're loved and, fills you with joy. That's why we do this here. So to get to these encounters, we have to practice certain ways of relating, and we have to use our intuition and have intention around having really amazing experiences with each other. It requires us to be a relator, and I think we need to bring this word relator back. It's one of the biggest compliments you can say to somebody. Hey man, you're a relator, because you know what it means? It means you're a good listener, it means you're compassionate, it means you're empathetic. It also means that you're willing to learn something, because let's face it, we don't know everything about all the different people that are in this world, and we don't know how we're connected or how we're not connected and what we can learn from different cultures. But when we make a decision to relate, we get all that richness. We get to grow with each other. So let's be relators. I'm excited to announce that we have 2 events where you get to practice being relators in Los Angeles coming up. So we're bringing back PSE, Public Shared Experience, and that's going to be at the end of the month in March. And then we're also doing a relational workshop. Both of those events are on my website right now at stephaniemichele.com, so check them out. And if you're not in LA, don't worry, I got something for you too. On my site, you can take the 30-day social challenge. What this is I personally come up with some exercises for you to do to have different experiences and to experience yourself as a relator. It's totally free of charge. If you want my help in staying accountable, I can help you do that, but you get those exercises for free. So sign up for that on stephaniemichele.com. And also, if you sign up for my email list, we'll put out some relator tips once a month. If you do that this week, I will send you a 15% off discount to the Relator store where you can get some cool garb to say, hey, I'm into this. I want to really show up in the world differently, and I want to connect with people. So think about that, and stay tuned to the end of the show. I'm going to give you another bonus for signing up for email. Big surprise coming up, but you're going to have to watch the whole show to find out what that is. So for everyone watching in the live stream, here's your question today to talk about with everyone in the stream. If you watched the Oscars, what was the most exceptional human encounter that happened? Now, I know all of you are thinking Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga are looking super cute on that piano, but I dare you to dig a little deeper. Were people talking about their family and giving people shout-outs? What other moments really stuck out? And you're like, wow, that feels good. Felt really authentic, when they were accepting their awards and giving their speeches. What else came up? So share that in the chat. And speaking of very special people and special moments, I've had a few of these great moments with my guests today. Joining me today is Kim Porsche. She's a designer and a lifestyle expert whose approach to creating real life experiences nothing short of fabulous. I know this because I've experienced it. She studied art at Otis Parsons in Los Angeles and interior and fashion design at Bassis College in Portland, Oregon. Kim has designed, staged, and sprinkled her magic over countless homes, people, and social experiences. Yes, man. I love that. Her work has touched some of the most elite areas and personalities throughout California. Kim's latest adventure is a studio space where she's creating a platform for just really anything that's charging people up right now, ideas. She's working with artists, designers, musicians, and photographers just to bring some of these encounters that we're talking about into the world. So you know why she's here today. Hey, Kim.
Hi. I'm so excited to be here.
I know. I've seen you in so long.
I know.
It's really,
I know.
We got a lot of catching up to.
Yes, we do.
It's going to be legit catching up that you guys just get to hear about.
Yes.
So the first thing, I get to unload when I start the show.
Sure.
Share what's on my mind. So I always ask the guests, what's pulling your attention right now? What's going on in the world that's got a lot of attention on that right now?
Yeah. We were talking about before the show started, just being really present. And I'm really making it a practice. I don't always get it right, but I'm making it a practice to be really present with whatever I'm doing or whomever I'm with or whatever I am about in the moment is dropping into that moment. So that is where I'm living right now.
Have you found there's certain like tactics that work? Like, is it taking a deep breath or slowing down a bit?
I do a lot of self-talk, and I know when I'm not being present, when I feel anxious or I dip into a zone. That's my trigger or my cue to remind myself to stay right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, to be with what I'm doing.
I love that.
Yeah.
You know, I think there's something there. Like, we can self-talk bad to ourselves, or we can self-talk with kindness and compassion.
Yeah.
And that's the same kind of relator qualities that we need to have so
true.
we can connect with others. And if you're self-talking some bad stuff to yourself, you're not available for relating, right? Like, it's just not going to happen. But when you're, hey, I got time, I can connect, like, life is good, I'm grateful. That's the good stuff.
It's just taking that moment, because we're so busy and there's so many distractions in life and so many things to get caught up in. And sometimes I find if I'm feeling a little off, then it's like, okay, what just happened? And then checking in with myself. So that is my religion right now.
Do you feel it in your body? Do you, like, the offness? Like, is it a stomach ache or a headache? Or?
I do. I feel, it's not a stomach ache. It's just a little, what's going on?
Like
what's going, just a little angst. And so then that's my cue to kind of go in and I do kind of this kind of thing where I go in and do kind of an inventory of what just happened. Is this mine? Did I encounter something from someone and they gave it to me? Or, you know, it's that kind of thing.
That's good stuff, man. I think we all feel it. And it does manifest in different areas. I get a little bit of stomach ache, or I can feel the nervous tension or headache. But we do, our body is amazing. Like, our body is just like radar, you know, and it's telling us stuff all the time. And it just requires slowing down
and listening.
And I noticed you didn't have your phone out when you came in here today. So you're like,
I wore it out before I got here.
You did? All right.
Excuse me.
I got it. Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, before we get into all the good stuff about you, I just want to really catch up. I know some of the things you're doing, and I want to hear more about it. We got to talk about our friend.
Oh,
yeah. So if you're listening or watching today, Kim and I met through a mutual friend. I'm already feeling a little teary.
I know.
This guy was like the life of the party. Oh my gosh, when Robert was in the room, we were gonna party.
Oh, I know.
He was always joyous. He could make, he was good at decorating. He could do amazing things with plants. The most beautiful arrangement with plants. And we lost him last year, and we haven't really had a memorial because we lost him. He was out of the country. We didn't get to.
I know. Yeah, talk about him or share our thoughts about him. He was incredibly talented, and everything he touched became magic. And we did a lot of work together on events. That's how I met him. Actually, I was throwing my own party, and I called a service that Robert was their rock star, and they sent him over, and I was such a mess that day. I'd run out of time, and I had these people coming, and my space was a mess, and he goes, "You just go and get pretty." And I'm like, "What?" And he goes, "No, you just go, I got this." And so I did. I went upstairs, I came back down, and everything was like he had some kind of magic wand. And we instantly became really good friends and ultimately started working together. And when he left to go to Australia to live, I was like, how am I going to do this without him? He brings the magic to all my affairs. But, I got to go into myself. He taught me a lot, and I was able to, facilitate things on my own. And when he ultimately left, that was another level of that,
Yeah, I don't know how you feel about, but there was something about, so Robert was the most giving person. He was a caretaker in his own family. He was the caretaker in a lot of his friendships. He took a lot of stuff, and so, and he knew it. Like, he had a good awareness in the world, and he was like, "It's my turn," And he went and he he was really just living it up, and there was like, we knew we wanted him to do that, but there was almost like too much of it happening, and there was a little worry, which made it more sensitive, I think, when he passed, because and one part of one side of me was like, let him be him, let him do his thing, like he deserves it, he's like been like that caretaker for everybody else. And the other was like, oh, do I warn him? Like I'm a little worried about him. And it feels when he passed and we got the news that he passed, I felt very unresolved about that. I don't know how you.
He lived full out. He really did. Always lived full out. Like there was no. I feel like this is how I feel. I feel like he left no stone unturned. He went on a tour.
He did.
Of a European tour before he left, and he got to visit all the friends that were really dear to him. And I feel like sometimes we come here with very specific assignments. And he was assigned to so many people to help them through or to create magic and merriment for them. And in his own life, he just was like, so I feel like to see him go through some what appeared to be dark places were things that he had to experience. They were his to experience. And I feel like his assignment really got to be complete. He came back here one more time. He had been caregiving his mom for years, and he came back one more time. She'd passed away, to close up her estate and do it all. And he went back to Australia, and he got to continue his journey.
Do his thing.
Yeah.
Well, Robert,
I
we
know
love
we
you.
love you so much. I know you're here.
I know you are
laughing.
Too. I know. I was thinking about him so much this morning. I'm like, Robert, I get to sit with Kim.
I know.
Because we have never been together
without him. It was always around him that Stephanie and I got together. So
So he has to be here somewhere.
He is smiling so hard. I know he is.
Yeah, I know. So I can feel it. I can just feel it. I can feel his cheeks and my own cheeks. All right. Well, let's talk about you now.
Okay.
I had to talk about this hair. I love it. I love it. So just so you know, Kim, I think the first time when I met you, you were like rocking a shaved look.
Oh, I had a mohawk.
Fantastic and sexy and beautiful. And this is totally different. Like, how do you make decisions about?
I don't know. It falls on me like I'm minding my own business. And then the hair gods or whatever it is will fall on me and say, this is what you're doing. And I have no choice in the matter. I feel like that's how it goes. So when I met Stephanie, I was wearing a mohawk and it was extreme and down like, it was crazy. And then I went into a little pixie kind of phase. But I started losing the war on, my father prematurely turned white hair in his 30s. And so I've been slowly losing that war and having to diet. And I'm like, forget it. Let me just go with something that really embraces what's really happening.
I have a good friend in Chicago. Shout out to Maria. She's Greek and dark hair, and she's like, I'm gonna let that white grow in, and she's rocking it. And
so I let it grow in, but I had to put it on steroids too. So I'm rocking this big cloud right now, but I'm having fun with it. I love it.
Is it interesting? So you've probably had different experiences. Have you experienced different identities and trying on stuff? Like, have you had these different experiences with people, like how they treat you differently, react to you? Yeah. What have you learned about human nature, people through your own?
I've learned through my own kind of incarnations, and I've had several in this lifetime, is that what I've learned about myself is that on some level I'm really sure of what this is. I make no apologies for how I'm going to express myself. So I'm good with that. But I notice that a lot of people aren't. They are really uncomfortable with an outward self-expression and I get a lot of like reaction that I'm not aware of all the time.
Yeah.
If I'm with a friend or something, they'll be like, why are they, what's going on? But I have discovered that a lot of us don't give ourselves permission, or when they see someone who is, it's like, how do you give yourself permission to be so out front with how you express yourself? So it's been interesting.
And I would think, I mean, I'd like to believe that we all want to be seen and loved, and we want that moment of just walking out and like, I got this today, you know. So I hope that anybody that has that experience, like, look at that, is like, you know, kind of checking their own self-talk about, you know what, you can create your own experience, and you can do the opposite. Like, I have the worst baby fat. I'm losing my hair. Like, I have thin hair. Like, that's what's happening. It's in my family. It's just, you know, I mean, I'm probably going to be rocking some pink wig at some point. They're like, I don't care. This is what's going to happen. I don't care. It's just half of Hollywood, you know. It's no thing. But I go the opposite and just don't dress up, don't care, whatever. But I know who I am. I don't. I see people react to me like, oh, you know, yesterday you were hot, like today not so much, you know, like, and I'm not going to talk to you. And I'm like, no sweat to me. Like, I know who I am. I don't care.
I think that's the key, is just really getting down with this and being okay. Just getting to okay. You know, and, you know, as we're evolving and, you know, we're having more turns around the sun and being judged for this and that, you've got to get to the point where you're good with you. Just good with you.
It does happen pretty naturally with age and experience. It really does. It's like the best thing about getting a little bit older, because you're just like, I got this. Like, I used to not know if I had it, but I got this. Like, it's fine. You know, and if you don't think I do, it's cool. Somebody else does. Like, it's all okay. Good. Like, you know, and accepting the fact, like, I think last year was a big, there was momentum around learning for me. Like, I really embraced learning, like, not learning as a thing that's just natural, and there's so much of it that we're exposed to, and just it's a natural order of things to just learn and grow. And when you do that and you accept, like, I can learn, I'm always learning, you also accept yourself as a work in progress. So you're not looking for this, oh, if I'm 5 pounds lighter, I'll be perfect. Or, like, it's just like, no, I'm a work in progress, and I love my work in progress. And I like it. Like, I just need a shirt that says WHIP. Work in progress.
I love it. I love that. I love that. I know we do have to really, you know, the more I live and evolve, the more, you know, the more I know that you never really arrive. We're always striving to, like, if, you know, we set these things, once I get there, or once I get here, or once I do this, or once I change my, whatever it is, we're constantly evolving to the next level of thing. And you get to that level, and then there's more to know, there's more to learn, there's more to grow from.
That's what makes life interesting. And I do think there's people in the world that have challenges with that, you know, that and it's more the divide than any other thing that we hear about in politics. And there are people that grow, and people that are like, no, this is what I know, this is right, it's always going to be this way, I don't care what you think. And I do think that is our biggest challenge, and that's why I focus on being a relator. It's just like, you don't, relating is not endorsing, empathy is not an endorsement. I can have empathy for somebody and not agree with what they're doing, but just being able to go, you know, we're kind of all in this together. You know, we're on this planet, we share this country, we're all in it together. Like, there's something that we'll connect over. And we can learn from each other. I'm like, just chill out.
If we take the time to really look into another person. But I think a lot of times we have been so programmed to think and believe a certain way that we don't even question why we think and believe that. We just have been given that, and we just go with it without really understanding why we're going with it.
No.
You know?
That's why travel's so cool.
Yeah.
Like you get to see things in different cultures
Yeah.
and ways people do things. But
Yeah.
wait a second.
Yeah.
I kind of like that.
Yeah.
Like I never knew that I could do it this way.
Yeah.
And I kind of like it better.
Yeah.
You know, like it's cool, right?
Yeah, and learning how similar we are by getting in, you know, getting into the boat with each other. I just watched that movie Green Book.
I haven't watched it yet. I want to watch it. Yeah.
It's just an amazing commentary on how we see each other based on belief and programming and being told. But when we really are put in a thing together, how similar and alike we are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad that Spike Lee won finally for that. That's what he won for, right?
Oh no, he won for Black Klansman.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
Different
movie.
Different movie.
Yeah, but still, it was really a great commentary on the human relation.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I gotcha.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk more about you.
Oh God. Oh God.
When did you know you were going to do something artistic in life? Like, can you think about your childhood and go, I was painting, I was playing music.
It's so funny. When I was a little girl, so my mom was a school teacher, artist, creative, just ahead of her time. Like, she rocked a mohawk before a mohawk was a mohawk. Like, she was that avant-garde mom. But my earliest thing, I remember we lived in a house and we had a garage out back with a bunch of old furniture and stuff in it. And I would spend my whole days in the backyard dragging stuff around as a little girl and positioning it and dragging more of it out. My whole day would be that. My whole day. So I think that was my earliest knowing that I would be like.
Did they think you were cleaning up or like really like
what is she doing? I get her broom. Literally, that would be I'd get immersed into that.
Yeah.
And then when I was young, my mom, because she was such an illustrator, when we'd have art class, I'd ask her to do all could you draw this for me? Could you? And finally she's like, no, I'm not doing it. You do it. You can do it. And then I tapped into something that I discovered was my thing.
Yeah.
And so knowing that I was creative and artistic is what got me through everything. I can't say I was necessarily a great student. I didn't have a lot of interest in it.
Yeah.
But I did have interest in creating. So I just learned to I don't know if I learned, but I really identified with that part of myself.
Would you reward yourself with something creative to kind of get through like geometry or like stuff that you didn't want to do? Was it?
I was really fortunate in that I had a couple of angel teachers all along the way. In my grade school, my elementary teacher was really doting and on me. I was incredibly shy too as a child, and she kind of nurtured me along. And then when I got to junior high school, I found that I was in they had an art program, or I forget what it's called, but it was like you got to do all of the creative stuff for the school. So I was in that class, and so that helped me. It always motivated me. And when I was in high school, I had an instructor who would make dates with me on the weekends and take me to art museums and expose me to things that I wouldn't have seen ordinarily. And so she would talk to me, and she kept me really engaged. So my study of creativity and art is what made me get through all the other stuff that
And how cool, and I mean, this is exactly why we do this show.
Yes.
It's like, how cool is it to reflect back on finding yourself and having these helpers, having these people that were like, I see that in you, and I'm just going to be available. I'm going to take you to an art exhibit. It's so important. Like, we just don't get anywhere.
True.
You know,
It's true.
My biggest problem with society sometimes, and social media is this like concept of self-made. Like, we see everybody's like Instagram, and they're like, I'm in this big influencer.
Yeah.
It's like, you didn't get there alone.
You don't get anywhere by yourself.
No.
Never.
No.
Nowhere by yourself.
And even if it was just one event, one moment, like people will touch you.
Yeah.
And
And we really need each other.
Yeah.
And we really fit into each other. And each of us has a thing that is so unique to us and a collective experience. So, and I do think that a lot of people forget that because we do become really isolated with the little computer that we
that
have.
or too much attention on just that intimate, like,
Yes.
like, once I find the one,
Yeah.
like everything's going to be great. Like, nope.
No.
Because here's the opportunity to practice relating. All of these relationships, all the things that you want to do, all these human encounters that happen on a daily basis, that's where you really sink into, like, okay, this is the stuff that I have that will allow me to be in a really healthy relationship.
Yeah.
But if I don't take the opportunity to get all this good practice and nourishment, and it's going to be very difficult to find the one, especially when you're prioritizing them on a dating app, and just judging for this outside stuff that really doesn't mean that much.
I know. Yeah,
It's just my opinion.
no, it's true. Everything is an inside job. It starts inside first, and then touching outside of that.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah.
Definitely. Talk to me about Love 682. What's the number?
632.
632.
Love 632 is, it really is a love, an expression of love. It's a real expression of love. When I found the space, it's in an urban part of town. And I was kicking rocks looking for a brick and mortar spot because as a stager, you collect tons of stuff. So I had tons of furniture and all kinds of things in storage that I wanted to offload and sell. So I was looking for a brick and mortar spot to do a pop-up, and I would lease it for a year because I had so much stuff. So I staged it. And I took on a partner at the time, and we were working together to create, with some of the things I had, a collection of pieces. And the collection of pieces would all be love-inspired things that you could use in your home, in interior elements of your home. So leather that would be tagged up with images of love and messages of love that you could live with. So from that, we developed a love collection was the premise, but it couldn't just be love. So I'm like, what can we call it?
Love stuff?
Yeah, love stuff. So my partner is from New York, and I said, hey, what was your address in New York? And he goes, 632. And I'm like, that's it, Love 632, which kind of just clicked, and the company was opened. But as a result of being there and in the space, and it's such a creative looking space, we started just naturally attracting artists in the area, and designers and musicians and poets and people who had created boutique businesses that were launching Exlexers and different things. And it became a platform for all of these creative people and their endeavors, and a way for them to come together and get to know each other and network and build. And it just took on a life of its own. It wasn't my intention, but it told me what it wanted. And so I just, in allowing, just said, okay. And so it's just been evolving itself.
You have an event tonight?
Yes, we have an event tonight. So every Tuesday night. Oh
no! This is how you know it's live.
We're live.
And I know that's not my phone.
It's my phone. I'm so sorry. Oh my goodness.
Oh, I love it.
Okay, I can't answer right now. I hope you're watching, but I can't answer you right now.
That's so funny.
Okay, so out of
Totally happened 2 times on the show.
Really?
The 99th
oh
episode.
God, and
Yeah.
I'm such a my phone never rings. My friends are always on me about you never answer your phone because it's always on silent. And so the ones
I wish it was closer. We should have picked it up. Like,
I know.
You're on YouTube right now. Like, you're live. You're live.
I know. Exactly.
It's all right.
Oh my God. So every Tuesday night we have an interactive event, and creatives of all sorts come and network and power and visit, and sometimes it's a love fest, sometimes it's a dance party. You know, we have amazing DJ, we have a food truck, it's African cuisine that is just from another planet, and it's just kind of a hub of experience.
It's like open mic kind of thing to anybody.
You know, it has been that. We never know what each night is gonna bring, and we've had a few, celebrities drop in, and just all kinds of, amazing, unexpected things happen in there.
So it's just a creative. It's a night that you know that you're going to be exposed to creativity in a really loving, vibracious kind of way.
High vibing environment. Yeah.
I like it. That sounds cool.
So we have a friend who'd been coming and visiting and hanging out in the space, and I discovered that she was a comedian. She's delightful. She's witty. She's fun and funny, and we started talking. And just out of our conversations, we decided to add every last Tuesday a night of comedy, poetry, and music fused together. And that's what's happening tonight. We've got some amazing artists coming tonight.
Nice.
So, yeah, this is the first launch where we've done something really intentional without just letting it happen.
Yeah.
And a lot will happen as a result of this, but we're excited.
And you've posted it on your Instagram.
Oh, yeah.
And your Instagram handle is on our screen right now. So if people want to find out more information, they can check it out.
Yay.
It's really exciting. I can tell it's really, just sitting next to you, and I often say this too, I wish there was a way to let people watching know how it feels in here.
Yes.
So when you're talking about it, there's a lot of energy, there's a lot of excitement.
Yeah.
It's the good stuff. I can tell. You've already experienced it in a way that's like, yes, I know this is something I'm supposed to be doing.
It's just, I'm just over the moon with all the activity and all the creativity I get to be exposed to on a regular basis.
There's something really magical about being around creative people that are like, they're just creating for the sake of creating and sharing, because you create and then you share. And then there's this whole other thing that's happening because people are vibing off of it and feeling connected because they've been exposed to a piece of art or a piece of music.
So exciting because I should find that phone and turn it off. I've seen young artists, and we'll be celebrating our 3rd birthday this spring, but I've seen young artists where their product was like in its infant stages really grow and flourish. Like you can see the evolvement of them too. So it's been great.
I love hearing that, because I think sometimes the reason why people don't get started is they think it's not in the place that it's supposed to be. They're like focused on this end result, but momentum is beautiful. Like allowing things to evolve and being able to have a safe space to do that, where people are giving you feedback and go, man, I was really feeling that. Like, encouraging them to keep going. And it maybe you just don't know how important just one little word of acknowledgement is to someone's momentum.
I know.
It's so important, right?
Yeah.
It's so important.
It makes me high.
Yeah,
really
it does.
Does.
Me
It
too.
does,
I'm very type A. There's like a list as long as my arm every day of things that I'm trying to accomplish and get done. And it gets tiring. Like at the end of the day, like I'm tired. But I know when I've had human encounters that have happened and I've experienced somebody else doing their thing, because it's like,
it fuels you.
Yeah.
And it inspires you. Like when I see someone go from point A to point wherever, I'm inspired for my own possibility. You know, when you can see how it evolves and becomes, it just really motivates me. So, yeah.
We're capable of so much.
Yeah, we are.
We're capable of so much.
Yeah, we are.
And it really just comes down to, you know, what is the noise that's in your life that's just distraction and is not allowing you to get to that point, you know?
Yes.
Because there's a lot of noise.
There's so much noise. Sometimes I say to my crazy self, shut the hell up. Like, be quiet.
Yeah.
Yes, the noise.
I have these massive noise cancellation headphones that, like, what you'd wear at a shooting range. That I put them on obviously for outside noise. I live in downtown LA. There's construction. I do put them on for outside noise, but sometimes it's me.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I need to shut that up. And I just put them on. It's like, zoom. It's like just nothing. And I'm like, oh, all right. I gotta do that now. And it's good.
Oh, that's a good physical.
They're
like,
so tight though. Like they hurt a little bit, but it forces me.
But that's good.
Yeah, it forces
you
me
know when you're
shut my mouth.
over talking yourself into some crazy space that you need to put those things on.
Totally.
I need something like that.
Oh, they're amazing.
Yeah.
I love them. All right, well, we're going to switch into our relating dice portion of the show.
Okay.
So what this is one dice has all of our lovely senses that we have as humans, plus body language, because I think that's one's really important.
Okay.
And then the other one has things like we're going to like swap a story or a dare, or we're going to do something for 60 seconds or act this out. What does it mean? And there's no rules.
Oh my God.
So first of all, there are no rules, just like in human interaction, there are no rules to this. It's really just meant for us to roll and just like vibe and go with our intuition. What's coming up? Like, what do we want to talk about?
Okay.
We can talk about past experiences. We can talk more about now.
Yeah.
Or we can talk about future experiences we want to have.
Okay.
You ready?
All right. Okay, so wait. When you roll those, can you tell me the word on there? Because I don't have my glasses.
I'll move it over. Yes, okay. I will. I am in that same boat. Do you know, it's so weird.
What are those words on the block?
I wear glasses to see, or I wear contacts to see far away.
Yeah.
And my nearsightedness started to go this year.
Yeah.
And the eye doctor kept trying to put me in like one different contact for one thing.
Wow.
Or the ones that are dual.
Did that make you loopy?
Yes.
I can imagine.
Some people can do it, so I do wear readers too when I'm at the computer.
Yeah.
And for Instagram or like the cell phone.
Forget it.
I can't see it.
Me
and
either.
All my friends are laughing at me.
Me either.
Like,
the type is like this big on my phone,
Really?
and I'm still like, what is that saying?
It's so bad too when it starts going.
I
It's
know.
just like, wow,
It's rude.
Take it for granted.
Yeah.
All right, so we rolled hearing and swap. So let's talk about. So the first thing that comes to mind always when I get the hear is music. So let's swap stories about the most amazing sound or musical thing that we've heard lately. Doesn't have to be music, but something that just like hit us in the ear, and I was like, wow, that's kind of a cool sound.
Oh, wow. Well, you know what? It's funny because I grew up in a household that we only had music growing up. So, you know, I have friends that tease me because I almost know every lyric to every song ever written in the world. Because I was exposed to so much music.
Are you car karaoke? Are you like?
No. Well, kind of. I guess I am. I would love to sing. If I could sing, you wouldn't be able to talk to me ever. I would just be like the rock star chick of the universe. But in terms of music now, wow, I'm exposed to so much of it too, all the time. I can't think of one damn thing.
I'll help you.
Okay.
Something's coming to mind. Maybe it will help you pull something out. So for me, what just does it for me is string music and particularly cello. Like there's this woman named Zoe Keaton. I love her. And I got to meet her. And I fangirled her so hard. I was crying. She started crying. So I have a picture of her and I in an ugly cry that I will never share, Zoe. I will never share. I will never share because it's not good for either one of us. But so string music just does it for me. But she takes a song and she starts to track in these different layers, and so she's like recording
Yeah.
live at layer, and then she's bringing them in, so then it just crescendos into these like layers of
Wow.
like, string music, and it takes you somewhere. And for me, the first time I was exposed to her, I was healing in a relationship,
Yeah.
and it really just cleansed my soul. I just could feel it. And when I got to see her live, I just had the clearest, cleanest tears strolling down my face. Like it was just such a release.
Yeah. It's I remember going to a Yo-Yo Ma concert years ago at the Hollywood Bowl. And that was the first time I'd experienced him, so I was kind of taking it in. But whatever he was playing in that moment, I mean, the whole section was in tears.
Yeah.
And I was looking around like, what is happening right now? Music has such an amazing way of piercing your soul and getting into the deepest places. I experienced it, you know, certain songs I'll hear, it will take me right back to my childhood.
Yeah.
When my parents were young and alive, and I'll just be broken down to like a mess of just emotion.
Why I like to do this, because there are so many memories tied in through our senses that are so powerful in your life. That there was a memory, or this reminds me to call my mom, or this was an important life lesson.
Yeah.
It's sense, like weird stuff pulls up.
Yeah.
Want to try again?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, this is a touch. It's a touchy one.
Oh.
Act out, okay or not. So obviously the first thing that comes to mind is a lot of inappropriate touch. Why does
that come to mind? I don't understand stuff to me. No.
It's in the media. Come on. I mean, it's always, there's always something, somebody touched somebody.
Oh, yeah.
And there's a lot. The best part of that I think that's come out of all of that is just more consent and check in. You know, I'm a hugger, but sometimes I've asked before I've done that, is it okay?
Yeah.
You know, we can't communicate or ask where we are. And even if you're a hugger and I'm a hugger and I see you on a day that you just don't want to be hugged.
Right.
I mean, I might not want to be hugged because I know I forgot to put deodorant on. I don't know. You know, like there's situational context to everything. So I think it's cool to ask. So this one, the question I kind of am inspired to sort of ask, like, is there something that somebody did recently that you're like, is this okay?
That
like you kind of bugged you.
Yeah.
And it stuck with you, but you need a little like,
was that okay that happened?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know if I should say it, but I'm going to say it anyway. I'm going to say it anyway. I won't say the person's name. And it wasn't a touch thing, it was a touchy thing. And I think in this climate of not really trusting and questioning, and is that okay, is that appropriate, you know, all the language that's going around like right now with the whole Me Too and all, you start to kind of question what's appropriate and what isn't appropriate.
Yeah.
And I was at a party, and a friendly acquaintance, her man friend gave me a strong compliment. It wasn't sexual, but it was a strong compliment. And I didn't know how to receive it. And I questioned, was that appropriate for him to say?
Like you felt like he's giving you more attention than he was giving his date?
Well, I just questioned whether that was an appropriate thing to say to a friend. And should it have been just purely platonic. And it was, but the fact that I questioned whether that was okay says a lot about the climate that we're in right now. Because it wasn't, you know,
it wasn't really anything.
It wasn't really anything other than now I'm thinking more about language and what we say to each other and how we say it. So, I don't know.
Yeah, it's tough.
I don't know. It is tough.
the touch thing, I mean, I've worked for myself for a long time, so I'm not really in a corporate environment where I have to go to HR and say, yeah, I'm not feeling this. I mean, I can pretty much say what I need to say. I think you have a career that way too. What I've noticed with the new kind of layer filter, the sensitivity that we have is if I'm with my male counterpart on a business call, and if another male is a person that we're calling on, how more eye contact and more communication goes male to male.
It's true.
Then I get, which I'm like, well, whatever works, Like most of the time, it's not like I'm just noticing it. It's not like I'm upset about it, but I notice it.
Yeah.
And then in the end, there's a handshake between them, and then I get a hug. I'm like, really? You couldn't look at me 3 minutes ago. Now you want to touch me? Now it's okay to touch me?
Wrap your arms around me? What's that?
Yeah, I've noticed some things like that. Or this is not a touch thing either, but it's coming up, so I'm just going to share it. How I had a client that I don't have anymore, thank God, that would call me out for like, let this person finish talking, and then would interrupt me to tell me to stop talking, and then continue to talk.
Oh, of course.
It's like, really?
Yeah.
So the rules apply to me, female.
Yeah, not to you. No, I get that a lot.
Cool.
I get that a lot.
Yeah, I love that stuff.
I get that a lot. There was a thing in social media. 2 celebrities were at an event, and the 2 guys knew each other. It was the opposite of your experience. And so they gave each other this big, thing. And then the guy was leaving the situation with the 2 of them. And instead of giving the woman who was there the same kind of embrace, he gave her this very corporate, handshake. Yeah. So there was this whole dialogue about what was going on, that the 2 guys embraced, but he gives her this stiff, man-like handshake. So I think we don't know what to do now.
And in fairness, and that I was thinking that way before you said it. In fairness, we just don't know. Maybe we have more relationship with one person and we don't have with the other. But you don't know what kind of relationship is possible, or what that person, what makes them interesting.
Sure.
And I think. Again, going back to being a relator and just having an awareness, I'm catching up with you, I've seen you, we know each other. But if you're with somebody else, I'm going to ask that person a question just so they feel part of this.
Yeah.
Because there is, we've all been in these situations, the third wheel kind of situation where 2 people are catching up. And they're like, oh, remember in high school? And you're like, I'm here.
I'm still here.
I'm still here.
Yeah.
And it really is as simple as when you see somebody left out of something, it's just directing a question to them. Give them a little space. What's up to you?
I do feel like we could revisit social etiquette.
Oh
my God, that's another show. That's a whole show on its own, because I think that people have really lost their way in how to be, how to connect, how to embrace, how to engage with each other.
I don't even care so much about etiquette. I care more about understanding that we are truly all connected, that we really, really, really are connected. What you do affects me, what I do affects you, and you don't have to know the right things. Often we don't. I don't. And I care about the stuff. I read a lot. I know a lot more than others, but I don't know everything. And I'll be in a situation where I'm like, I just don't really know what to do here. But the thing that we can all benefit from and just thinking about is it's okay to be a little vulnerable. Just try something.
Oh God, there's so much. Vulnerability for me, I'm learning to visit it more because it's so freeing. Then I don't have to put up the front, or I don't have to act like I'm not bothered.
I agree.
You know what I mean?
I talk about it it's like being naked.
Yeah.
And why I say this, so I had a good friend in Dallas. Shout out to Leroy Broper. That is a body painter, really famous body painter. And I got an opportunity to be painted by him. So the first time you go meet him, several times actually, but the first time you go, it's like this really crazy artist loft and down like close to downtown Dallas, and like you're gonna be naked in front of this stranger in a little bit, and then you're not only gonna be naked for like a little bit, you're gonna be naked for hours.
Oh God!
Why he paints? Why he puts? So in that experience, like people, my friends would ask, like, "Oh, is that like?" It's like, you don't get more naked. You're only naked the first second that you're there, and then you're like, well, I'm naked.
It's
and vulnerability is sort of like that too.
It's true.
Like, it's just a moment. It doesn't stay with you. It doesn't. It's just a moment that you're gonna have that you actually can learn from. And then it's over.
And you know what? When you allow yourself to be vulnerable, it gives other people permission to lay that thing down. And become more real.
And everybody's a little bit more comfortable. Definitely. Should we do one more?
Sure.
Time. Let's see what comes up. All right. So, another hearing thing, and so what would, and sometimes, we got hearing in 60 seconds. So sometimes we would set a timer. Hearing. We don't have to do that.
Okay.
What would be, if you had to listen to something for 60 seconds, what would be the worst thing?
Oh, the worst thing. My God.
Like what sound, if you you could barely stand it for 3 seconds, much less 60.
Oh my God.
Like would be torture.
There's there was a person that I knew whose voice, was just so irritating that you couldn't just, and they never stopped talking, and they didn't come up for air. And I remember we had to be on a little trip together, and literally I wanted to jump out of the vehicle into traffic, just in my misery. Certain tones really affect how I feel.
Can make you stressful.
All
I'm thinking about is Michelle Wolf, the comedian who has that really high, but she knows, and she's worked with.
She's irritating.
She has a high pitched voice. I love her. I think she's fantastic. She's very funny. But she knows, and she'll make jokes about it. But she changes her frequency and slows down, and there's things that you can do to help with that.
It's hard. It's energetic, voice inflections and tones. I'm really affected by. I really am.
So, it's just like music. There is something, the frequency of music, if it's going through you in a way that you're vibing with, it's different. But if it's not, it's kind of like a sharp.
Like stop.
Okay. So we are moving into our exceptional encounters portion of the show. So when I say exceptional human encounter, like what comes to mind? Like, can you think of an experience that you had and you're like, that was amazing, like that?
Oh, an encounter with someone else?
Yeah. Like it could be a stranger that went out of their way to do something special, or someone that like your friend that really needs to talk to you right
that's
now.
Been calling me relentlessly. I've had several encounters with people, and kind of the most exceptional ones are the ones that are with strangers, and on our path, just in daily life, every now and then we'll run into someone who is an exceptional connection to you. And I remember taking the airport. I was flying back and forth to San Francisco every week, and the Uber driver picked me up, and I just feel like angels are just deposited everywhere, and we don't know who they are and when we're gonna connect with them. But he was like the most amazing human being to have a conversation with. And by the time I got out of his car, I was levitated. I can't tell you what he said, but in the moment, it was so divinely perfect for the experiences I was having in real time, and he could not have known. There's no way he could have known. It was so directly personal to what was happening to me. And I've had several of those, and I've never forgotten him, and I'm sure I will never see him again. But those kind of things are kind of just gives you the woo-woos, you know?
This is the reason I do the show.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had those encounters definitely with Uber, Lyft drivers, where you just feel the conversation that's taking place is totally meant for you in that moment now. Like they were just put there, and the words that they are saying, they're totally meant for you. It's so related to what you're thinking, feeling. And you know you're in one. And this is a sign for you guys if like you're like, I've never had one of these encounters.
Yeah.
Here's how you know you're in one. When you start to feel yourself go, woo,
yeah,
I gotta be like hyper present because this is for me right now. Like you know, the hair is standing up on your arms. Like that's how you know. That's how you know.
There was another one. Quick, I was really low. My mom passed away several years ago, but we were extremely close, and I was feeling really melancholy that day, like really holding a space for her. And I remember walking into this shop, and the woman was kind of a curmudgeon. She was really kind of grumpy, and I was like, what's her problem? Like, it was not an immediate encounter, to say the least, but something happened. I stayed in there, and I kept looking around, and I asked her about something I was looking at, and she hadn't looked at me prior to that, but then she looked at me, and she dropped into something, and she immediately started talking about my mom. She goes, your mother is extremely proud of you.
Whoa. Whoa. Whoa.
And I had been feeling some kind of way all day with thoughts of my mom.
Now I'm worried. We're almost done. Now we need to know who that is. Yeah.
I apologize.
It's okay. Somebody needs to get a hold of you.
Yeah,
And
sorry.
No, don't be sorry.
Okay.
They need you. People, they need you. They
So-
need their Kim. I get it.
But that was really kind of altering.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, yeah.
soul stirring. Like it was amazing, and what she said was so poignant, and so. Like I felt like it was a direct message, and she got downloaded. So
I say that word too.
Yeah.
When something, it's not even necessarily. So I call this grace. Actually, it's not necessarily that the person that you're having the encounter with like knew everything.
Right.
Like, just something just kind of entered into them, and we. As humans, because we are connected, have this ability to just go, oop, this just intuition just popped in, and I need to say this to you. Like, we do that at my events with this public shared experience. That's exactly what we're going for. Is like, look how amazing. I'm not psychic. I'm not trained. But we have this ability to just share on a level that, like, I'm going to say something to you, and it's exactly what you need. Not because I have special powers.
Right.
But because something just got downloaded, and I'm seeing you, and I'm connecting. And there's something. I'm, I feel you. Like I'm seeing something in your eyes where I'm like, I gotta say this. We all have that skill.
It's amazing that
I'm so excited. I haven't done one in a long time, and I'm getting excited because it's just so cool to see people be lifted with each other.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure you're experiencing at your events too.
All the time. All the time. Yeah.
Definitely. All right. Well, we want to find out who that phone call is. Who needs their Kim? So we will close the show. I really appreciate you being here today.
I loved it.
I think our social challenge of the week, like I was really inspired with what you were saying about these encounters. I want to throw this out there, and if you have something to add to this to make it special sauce, like let me know. So I ask everybody at the beginning of the show this question: what has your attention right now? I think if we found a better way to ask each other that, even if we're asking strangers, we would have more of these encounters because that opens the door for another person to go, oh, I want to talk about this. So the social challenge of the week for everybody watching is finding a way to work that into conversation, both with strangers, which is a little bit harder. I know it's seems a little bit strange to go, hey, what has your attention right now? But that's your challenge, like to be vulnerable with it, play with it. You can always practice where it's safer. Like practice with people that you know, like practice with your best friend, and then as you get comfortable, you can go and ask a stranger. But that's what I'm kind of feeling.
Yeah.
You like it?
Yeah, I do. I like it because, we make connections with people all the time, and it just takes that extra step to say, I see you and I'm interested in what you're interested in right now.
Yeah, and we're way too programmed when someone says, how are you? To go, I'm fine.
Yeah.
And not answer that question. So I think we need a new question. Like, that
what
one's
has
not
your
working.
attention?
Like, what do you do? And how are you?
Yeah.
They just really don't work. You might as well ask how's the weather? Because
Yeah,
that's pretty much the
it's
depth of what you're going to get.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's taking the time to take that next step, like we were saying, to really connect with someone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. That's the social challenge of the week. Find a way to use this question in dialogue. What has your attention right now? I could do this for like days
I
with
know.
you. I could just
I
get
know.
locked in this room.
Yeah.
We could redecorate. We could move things around.
Oh, we should. Yeah, we'll have a party.
We'll
do
have a
that.
party.
Yeah.
I got to come to yours. You got to come to mine. We got to spread the love.
For sure.
It was so good catching up with
I'm
you.
so happy. Thank you for having me. Thank you so much.
It was
this
good.
Made my day.
Mine too. That's why I do it.
Yeah.
This is the fuel that I need for the rest of the week, especially the work week.
Yeah.
So we'll do it again. I'll share all the ways that you can get in touch with Kim and to learn about what she's doing. We'll archive the show and everybody will be able to find you and connect with you and ask questions. And if you do the social challenge, we both want to hear about it. So hit us up on Instagram and tell us what happened from doing that. And as promised, I said I had a little surprise, a little bonus for you guys. If you sign up for my email, you're going to get an email once a month. It's going to have relator tips. It's going to have things that you're going to be invited into conversations. Like it's ways to practice being a relator. And the first 100 people that sign up are going to be entered in to get one of my bracelets, my relator bracelets. And these are just great to wear to remind yourself, like, I kind of want to be a better relator. I want to have better relationships. And it's made with sodalite, so it's like a communication stone. I will personally string it for you. So the first 100 people that sign up will be entered to win a bracelet that I'm going to make and send it to you. Those are very good odds, 1 in 100. It's not lottery. I mean, it's pretty certain that one person's going to win. So please sign up for my email so I can share awesome tips, and you might win this bracelet. I might give you a shout out on the next show. And until next week, I just want everyone to explore this question. What are you doing today that's creating an exceptional human encounter? What can you do to create that moment? See you next week.
Bye.